Well, hello and welcome back to my workbench. It is time once again to try to fix something. And today on the workbench, I have another dead PS5 that we need to do something about. And let me read to you the description of where I bought this one. I'll try to put it up on the screen as well. Bought this spring of 2022. It worked perfectly until a few days ago when it just shut off while playing. Now it just beeps and the blue light will come on briefly before going off. So it is. It looks like a beep on off. So those are never very nice. Let's give it some power. Yeah, power supply looks like that works. Let's just see what she does do. Give it a second to start up. All right. Light. Blue light off. Okay, try that again. Blue light off. So yeah, beep and blue light on off. That's what we're starting with. So this could be a bad one. Let's get a little further into it. And with the side plate off, we can see it's very clean inside and still factory sealed. So that's always nice. But we're gonna have to break that seal and get a little further into it. All right, well, we are down to the circuit board. I haven't taken it out of the chassis yet, but just wanted to look around, see if there's anything obvious jumping out at us. Like a short on the RAM, 1.35 or something. No. I don't believe we have a 5-volt short. It wouldn't be beeping if we did. Some of these rails are pretty low impedance. That's normal. Yeah, that looks pretty normal on those. The APU stuff. I don't know if I can get up under there to get on the other rail, the 6-phase and the 2-phase. I still got the bracket on here. I think there's a 5 1/4 available. Oh, that's ground. That shouldn't be ground. I have to refresh my memory. I think that's maybe that 5 1/4 volt line that powers all of this. You know, it powers the DR MOS and a lot of other things. It's not. It's separate from the 5 volts over here. The 5 volts standby, separate supply. So is that our problem? That should not be 0.1312 ohms. I see an IC right over here this is connected to, but I bet there's some capacitors on the other side. That could be a problem. Let's get this on out. Maybe we've got a nice easy one today. A couple more screws holding the board in. And this is not going to want to let go because it's never been opened. It's going to be stuck down quite well with that putty. I think she's going to let go. There we go. Ooh, nice dry spot. Nice dry spot. Okay, now the area we're looking at, yeah, I think it's common to have a short on some of these capacitors right in here. Let's take a look. Let me get this chassis out of the way. So right in here. Get that glare off of there. All right, continuity mode. Yeah, there's a short on that inductor. I want to say that's a common area to get a short in. Not there, but over here. One of those capacitors. Let's take a look under the microscope. Yeah. Apparently this is a common failure area. I don't know if I've ever seen one short here, but I mean, plenty of other people on YouTube that work on these things have seen this particular short. Like one of these capacitors here. Now none of these look cracked at all. So maybe that's not the problem, but awfully suspicious. Of course, this is a coil. I'll read it on both sides of this. This side and this side. So I could lift one side of this coil and just see what side it's on. But I think what I'm going to do is inject. I got my secondary channel set for 9/10 of a volt at 3 amps. That should be more than enough to give us some heat because our short's like 1/10 of an ohm, 2/10 of an ohm. So let's switch to the thermal cam and let's just see what gets hot. All right then, I think we're ready. Thermal cam is recording. I'm going to inject 9/10 right down here, if I can get it in the shot. Over here, yes. On the coil that was giving us the short. Right there. And yes. We have something that looks like it's got to be a capacitor just to the left of that coil. So that's what we got. Something shorted there. Good. At least it's not the APU. Let's try looking under the microscope, see if we can narrow down which one it is. So looking under the microscope, let's see if we can narrow this down with some alcohol on a cotton swab. I'm going to be injecting right here on this coil. Well, it's getting hot. I think that kind of stands out, doesn't it? Second one from the left, I do believe it is there. Hope that's in the shot. Soak it with alcohol and heat it. Yep. Okay. Second from the left it is. Good. Well, that capacitor has been changed out. It was a 22 microfarad at 6 volts, 6.3. This is what I replaced it with if you're interested. 22 at 10, same size I had on hand. So that's what's in there. And I put it back in the chassis. Let's see what happens. Blue light. Staying on blue light. Maybe get some video. Probably doing a recovery. I did clean up the liquid metal too while I had it apart, because there was a nice dry spot. There we go, white light, and we're getting a storage check. We're going to be all right though. Come on back up. There we go. Logo. So, all I need to do is a little cleanup on this. Need to clean out that fan. Just a little bit of dust in this one. It's very, very clean. Oh, it looks like he had an M2 drive in there that he took out. Well, I can't blame him there. So, let me do a little cleanup on it. We'll put it all back together and give it a full check. Well, this PS5 is fully reassembled. Seems to be working rather well. Cleaned up nicely. It's got good liquid metal. Should be good for many years. So, one little capacitor took it down, which happens quite often on PS5s. So anyway, hope you liked that one. Thought it was so interesting, educational, entertaining, any of the above. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in that very next repair real soon. Bye for now.